this transfer manenos now that we are here, and there is no football. The only thing that is happening is transfers.
Yeah.
So number one, Kai Havertz to Arsenal. I don't know what you guys think. Let me start with the Arsenal person.
I'm trying to I'm scratching my head to understand the deal. First of all, I think for his form over the last 2 seasons, I think that's too much money for a player. The money being bandied around £55 million. Although he came in for £70 million, but he's a German, so he has to have some quality to have left to Leverkusen to come to Chelsea. I just don't know where he's going to fit, and I really hope Arteta is not losing it on this one. Remember, Arteta having signed the silver boy who really came and became a flop, in my opinion. The guy who came in from Portugal last time.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So I really don't know what to make of it, but I really trust the manager and the technical director know what they're doing on this one. Is he coming in to replace Zaka, who's leaving to Leverkusen? Is he coming in to play as a winger? Is he coming in to play as a striker? I'm told he can play in very many positions, but I just can't really wrap my head around this transfer and make sense out of it yet.
Bernard?
One guy who I'm sure is not happy with this is Nketiah. Nketiah is very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Amekaa hivi akaangalia
kunaendaje.
Okay. Mpango ni form ni gani?
I like
form
that.
ni gani, but anyway, there's something maybe I don't know. I think Arteta for him is, of course, he's just trying to consolidate his team. He came so close this season. I don't know if next season they'll be able to have the same level of energy and patience and
plus Champions League
mental
football.
strength. To go until, because this one was it was what is it called, the happy accident. They were not gunning for the title. They were like, okay, fine, first few rounds to go, okay,
to come by
by Christmas I think they were leading.
Yes. Until April.
240 something days.
So then okay. So anyway, I think it's part of Arteta's longer plans. Hopefully, I think for him, I'm sure he's very keen on winning a title. But I don't know about that Havertz move. I don't know.
It depends on who you listen to. Some people are saying says you are judging him on the last 2 years where he's been played out of position. He's not a striker. He's not a 9. He's not a target man. He's not a false 9. If you go back to his days at Leverkusen, he was an attacking midfielder. So he could play on the left of the midfield, quite possibly replace Xhaka. So he's going to drop back to playing where he used to play before, arrive into the box late in the box and get into at the end of all those crosses. He's not going to play as an out-and-out 9, but when they need him to play as a false 9, maybe he can.
Okay.
It's the kind of explanation I got from asking people online and from a bit of reading. So that may be it. However, Arsenal's biggest problem is that they have wanted Declan Rice for a long time. And they have had 2 bids, all of them rejected, including one where mlikuwa mtaka kulipa higher purchase order. Hii kitu ya higher purchase. Now, which was okay until Thursday when they said City are now interested.
Yeah. Interesting again. I think Arteta really wants Declan Rice. I think he's his first choice player. He really wants him. I believe Uncle Thomas and Chaka might both be leaving, and I support that move for the both players to move.
Partey has been linked with the $200 million deal to
in Saudi, which is reportedly turned down and wants to go to Juve.
I would have signed that thing asubuhi na mapema.
Yes, I wonder what.
Early in the morning.
Yes, I think he really wants to stay in Europe. He thinks the Saudi deal can come back in 2 years' time, which is what against. We'll discuss about the Saudi later. But Declan Rice is the player Arteta really wants. But like happened with Modric, I think Arsenal will pay up until a certain point. The club has its own valuation of the player, not West Ham valuation of the player. So they're going to try and discuss and reach a consensus. If a consensus is not going to come and Man City pay everything that West Ham wants, I think Arsenal will step out from the deal and Man City will have him. Where he's going to play in Man City, because you mentioned it earlier, is another ball game altogether. I believe Man City is not about where he's going to play. They'll buy him because they can't buy him, because they have the money to buy him. Where he'll play will come in. Will come in later. It's like getting into somebody's house and you find 4 or 5 cars, high-end cars in the garage, because he can afford them and he can use each at every day he wants to. So Declan Rice, I still expect him to end up at Arsenal, because apparently he's made up his mind and he's told his club West Ham, it's Arsenal or bust. Remember, that's why Bayern pulled out of the race earlier on. So yes, and it should be settled this week.
Where should he go if you are him? You go to City, win trophies, guaranteed, or you go to Arsenal, you play week in, week out, you continue living in London, your family is in London.
I think bottom line, if that's where his mindset is and where his heart is, I think it's the only natural direction he should take. Because obviously for him going to Manchester City, you see that Man City just came suddenly. It was like, by the way, Declan Rice, see,
Yeah, I like that.
because there's like, you know, the other thing was like, that's what I was saying. Vuruga. I was like, because Gundogan has left, and I'm assuming maybe perhaps they are looking at.
Yeah, Gundo has left. Kovacic is coming in.
Yeah. So maybe perhaps in the back of their minds they are thinking, this guy is Arsenal. This guy Arsenal wants. You see him buy a PS, and I think you should go to Arsenal.
Well, it's a case of, do you want the money, do you want the success, or do you want to play week in, week out? I guess it boils down to that.
Yes.
Do you want to go to Arsenal, to City and become Calvin Phillips, who hardly plays, or do you want to go to Arsenal and become a legend and be captain maybe after Odegaard and become a vital player and stay in London, or do you go up to Manchester because of money? That's nice problems to have.